The Zagros Mountains are a long mountain range that stretch across modern-day Iran, Iraq, and Turkey. The highest point is Mount Dena at over 4,400 meters or 14,460 feet. They are also one of the most biodiverse areas in the world, resulting from the region's varied topography and climate. The mountain range is also home to one of the oldest religions in the world, Zoroastrianism. Why did these mountains become home to Zoroastrianism? What do these mountains reveal about Zoroastrianism's origin and history? Moreover, what prophecies, what truths can these mountains yield for us today? Zoroastrianism is one of the world's oldest continuously practiced religions. Zoroastrianism has had a profound impact on many of the world's monotheistic religions, including Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. In the New Testament, the Magi, who are priests in Zoroastrianism, are the first to bear witness to Jesus as the Messiah. The New Testament's depiction of these Zoroastrian priests offer important clues into the history and origins of Zoroastrianism. In particular, the New Testament's depiction of the Magi as extremely skilled in astronomy and following a star in the sky to Jesus is an important clue which testifies to the unique capabilities of the Magi. Moreover, the fact that New Testament authors would depict the Magi as the first to bear witness to Jesus testifies to the fact that New Testament authors respected and revered Zoroastrian priests. Surviving Zoroastrian texts show that astrology was used by their priests, the Magi, as a method of measuring historical and calendaric time. They developed a world astrology and used astrology as a means to date events in history. It was believed that the world followed a pattern that could be understood through astute observations of the sky above. This was a core and central teaching of Zoroastrianism from the founder of Zoroastrianism himself, Zoroaster, whose name literally means astron or star. Recognized as a great teacher and prophet, Zoroaster is said to have authored collections of teachings. Among the most significant teachings affixed to Zoroaster is the idea that stars were not fixed in the sky. Rather, stars were in constant motion in the sky, along with other celestial objects such as planets. Thus, while we might be fixed within a certain space, everything around us was moving. Zoroastrianism maintained a distinctive view of space. Rather than imagine humans moving through space and the environment, Zoroastrianism instead imagined space and the environment as moving through us. This created an energy, a life force, that was represented through the continual maintenance of the Great Fire. In every Zoroastrian temple was a great fire placed on the altar of the temple. It was the responsibility of the Magi to maintain this fire at all times. The thermal energy from fire was believed to be the animating life force which illuminated and informed life not only on this planet, but also the stars above. One story of Zoroaster stipulated that Zoroaster, in fact, was killed for this secret knowledge. Zoroaster died by the living flux of fire from the star, which he himself had invoked, and even that the stars killed him in revenge for having been revealed and restrained by Zoroaster's secret knowledge, while Zoroaster might have been killed for his secret knowledge of the stars. Zoroaster believed that there was a good, benevolent deity called Ahura Mazda, or Lord of Knowledge, who wanted humans to learn and gain knowledge of the environment and their surroundings and the heavens above. Mountains were thus often seen as sites of learning, and places where Zoroastrian priests, the Magi, would come to gather and collect knowledge of the universe. Mountains are important for a variety of reasons. One of the reasons why mountains were important for Zoroastrian priests is that they served as remote locations that minimalized the twinkling of the atmosphere, because the atmosphere is thinner in mountainous regions and makes it easier to discern the stars above. It is for this reason that today we commonly place telescopes on top of mountains. Air quality is also important for good observations because any particles in the air will reflect light and also make the sky glow. Finally, weather has a substantial impact on the quality of observations. Ideally, observatories should be located as high as possible above the clouds. The Magi would thus need to climb great mountains such as the Zagros Mountains, where there they could gaze above and gain vital information about the universe. High in the Zagros Mountains lies one of the most remarkable and little-known sites of ancient Zoroastrianism. Concealed by some of the highest mountains in the Zagros Range, and hidden from the world for some 1,000 years or more, Tech-e Salaman was only rediscovered in 1819 by a Scottish traveler, Sir Robert Kerr Porter. Recent archaeological excavations of this ancient lost city have revealed a Zoroastrian temple at the center of the city. The temple, with its now collapsed dome supported by 4 arches, a low altar and side chamber where the eternal fire that was so important for Zoroastrian ritual was tended, forms the central core of the religious structure. Archaeologists argue that the temple is more than 2,000 years old and dates to the Sasanian period. It's one of the earliest Zoroastrian temples. This site provides crucial evidence into Zoroastrianism's origin. For why did they build this temple in the middle of a remote area located in the midst of the Zagros mountain range? The answer to this question might just be located in the temple complex itself. For there in the temple is a large shrine of well-cut ashlar masonry, supporting 8 brick arches, commonly attributed to the Zoroastrian deity Anahita, goddess of water. The fact that Anita should have a temple here in the middle of the Zagros Range might seem unusual and strange at first, but at the center of the temple complex was a seemingly bottomless lake, now shown to be at least 120 meters deep. Not only was it deep and seemingly endless, but it had an astonishing natural feature. The water in the lake is continuously warm and fed by a continuous flow of warm water that empties via stone channels down the mountains into the fields below. The water itself is also highly mineralized, accounting for the buildup of deposits on the lake's edge, while the peaks of the Zagros mountain range provided a space where Zoroastrian priests could peer into the heavens above. It also, and more importantly, provided a natural source of thermal energy. Thermal energy was believed to be the animating force of life, which illuminated and informed life on this planet and the stars above. The Zagros mountain range's seemingly endless and boundless supply of thermal energy manifests a prophecy for us today. For if heat is ultimately the identifying marker of life, then the earth is alive. It is as conscious as us. Consciousness, then, does not originate in the body, but in earth, and we are but manifestations of that earthly consciousness. Scientists today have confirmed this idea in what's known as the Gaia hypothesis, and argued that we have fundamentally misunderstood consciousness today. Rather than see consciousness as something in the body, we must instead understand it as planetary and rooted in the earth. It is the earth's energy that ultimately gives us our life. Thousands of years ago, the Magi and Zoroastrian believers understood this point. There in the Zagros Mountains, they discovered a truth for us today, and one which we must not forget if we are to live and flourish on this planet. Everything around us, from the lakes, rivers, trees, forests, flowers, are alive and communicating to us right now. It is ultimately up to us to listen.